All right, I think we're live. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. This is your brain break for Wednesday, February 17th. And I'm telling you what, Dave, I kind of need a break right now.
Whew,
So
yeah.
I'm happy to be here with you. I know we both rushed here. So we're both here. We need a brain break. So if you're watching, you need a brain break with us. Yes, like we're here for you. We got you. I don't know if we're going to do any games, if we're just going to vent or talk or whatever, take some questions, maybe could be fun. I do think maybe we'll give something away, but at the very least, we're going to sip on something, munch on something, talk about something, or who knows what, some ridiculous for all I know. But we'll be right back, so hang out with us, start commenting, let us know where you're at, what you're getting a brain break from, and if we can help you in any way, we'll be back in just about, what is it, Dave, 21 seconds? Is that what it is?
That's
I
it.
always say like a minute, but I'm pretty sure it's 21 seconds. You count, let us know. All right, was that 21 seconds? Someone comment. Let me know. Did you time it? Was it
Mississippi, 20 Mississippi, 21. There we go. Now we can talk.
I love it. Oh, what's going on? Nikki, good to see you. Always good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Brianne, always awesome to see you. Hope you're doing awesome. Lindsay, happy to see you as well. Happy Wednesday.
Off. She's got midwinter break right now, by
She's
the way.
Oh, man, yeah. I saw her she was just relaxed this morning.
Chilling with the girl. That's
chilling
right.
with the girl. I love it. So good to see you all. Yeah, so you were kind of rushing to get here.
Oh my gosh!
Was it from Driver's Ed? Is that what you did?
I set such a bad example. Such a bad example.
Did you?
Let me set
the over the whole way home.
Yeah. So today was my son's. Kind of sort of last drive. It was supposed to be his last drive, but he was supposed to drive yesterday, and it got canceled because of a snowstorm. So
yeah.
They practiced like today was the last drive and whatever, but it was the one where there's all the cones set up and parallel parking, the whole 9 yards. And so I went and dropped him off. The instructor told me, okay, it's going to be done at 4:45 today. So come back and get him at 4:45. I said, okay. I got there at 4:44 and he was still going. And I'm looking at my watch thinking, I got Gargis waiting for me here. So
I got things to get to here, guy.
4:52, he gets done. I throw him in the car and broke every rule imaginable after he just got done driver's ed. And my excuse was so that I could get home and have a beer.
4:52.
Yeah.
So 8 minutes.
Typically, it's about a 12-minute drive.
I was going to say, how far? Okay, so how far is the drive? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I was home. I was back a little bit earlier than I thought I was going to be, so it wasn't bad. I had to run out and get some dinner stuff because I wasn't able to all day. It's been a day. And it was been a day, and I'm like, okay, I have enough time where I could do this, but I really, 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 really needed to go for a run.
Oh, okay.
Mentally to clear my head, but also to get that win because today is day 5 of working out, 4 runs in a row, and I did a 5K today.
Look at you. Good for you.
I haven't done a 5K for a long time, and here's the best part about that. It's because a while back, like early start of football season, I signed up and paid full registration for a virtual 5K. And I'm like, well, that'll get me motivated. I never got to it. So because I did that today, I get to pull out what I got with that virtual 5K because it was a run with the dogs. And how sweet is that medal?
That actually is really
That's an awesome medal. And then it's got it came with a bandana too, which, whatever.
No, that's a mask.
I always love too.
That's not a bandana. It's a mask.
It's a mask, and they always give you I love that they always send you a bib. I'm like, I don't wear this when I run.
I was gonna say, did you run around the neighborhood with that today?
No. I do virtual races for 2 reasons. One, for whatever the merch is, and 2, because it's like accountability for me individually. So that was fun. But yeah, so I did that. And then I had to rush out to get to the store. Had prescription to pick up, and I picked up some fish. We're doing fish tonight because my son's been asking for it. So nice. Cooking up some cod and some salmon tonight. So
okay, look at you.
So I was rushing, but I got here. I'm okay. I'm actually at the point, Dave, in my day in my life where I'm actually drinking coffee right now. So
I should have my coffee to cocktails hat on right now because that's exactly what it's been for me. Last week it's been coffee till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
and then
transition.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, hello, Livia. Good to see you. or not see you. I'm
She's not
sorry.
here.
Wink,
I don't know what you're talking about. Livia, who?
Wink, wink,
What?
wink.
No.
Hey, Maddie, good to see you. Tony, good to see you, man. I haven't seen your name pop up in here for a while. Of course, I haven't been here a whole lot, but then here. Hey, I hope you're staying safe down there, brother. Man, it's been crazy what's going on down there. So, Brian, I agree. It was a great medal. I had to show the Chad because Chad's a Steelers fan. So, chicken with mushroom sounds good. I need coffee before I go. Coach fight you,
and then Bree, you'll need this when you're done coaching 5-year-old soccer.
You might need more than coffee. I don't know. I used to. It's been a while since I coached. My kids just didn't latch on to soccer as much, so we didn't get to do that. So hey, look at this guy. Being the brain break. I'm happy to have you here, Taylor. It's good to have you
like
here.
A rock star yesterday at Mastermind. Everybody was giving Taylor the shout outs. It was so cool.
We should get a shout out. Yeah. If you connect with Taylor, it doesn't even matter what it is. If he wants to share, that's fine. But give Taylor like a virtual high five, fist bump. What's up? It's good stuff. So
yeah, for sure.
So here's the funny part about today, Dave. Is yesterday you and I chatted for a bit about.
Don't tell people what we talked about yesterday.
So yesterday,
sound horrible today.
You and I chatted a little bit about being we just want to be just a little more structured. I won't even say like strategic or anything, but just like structured with our brain break in the sense of like having some prizes thought of so we can think of better things to give away, thinking through games so that we always have like a bank of different games and fun things we can go to, thinking through bringing people on and stuff like that. We had all, we talked through this thing and like today we're like, we haven't put that together yet, so it doesn't matter, right? So
it just goes to show. What is your mantra that you talk about all the time? People spend too much time just planning, and they don't actually implement.
You gotta go.
I mean, we spent an hour yesterday planning this, and there's like, whatever.
But no, to be fair to us, like we like that was like our plan to start getting structured. It wasn't like we had to do it by today. I mean, we did it yesterday. So
that's true.
Nikki's got super fights. I love it. That was the one that we played with that Mandy Frederick introduced us to.
Yes, we had Flying Monkeys versus ET or something. I don't even remember what the contests were, but yeah,
they were. I think honestly, I think that's the most heated you and I have ever gotten.
I think
was our arguments around there because they were so unclear. It became dangerous. So
yeah.
Did you talk about Teach Better 21? I've been dreaming about it. We didn't, Brian. We can talk later about that. There has been some talk about another 12-hour live event. And I
think she got 21 backwards.
I do not know whether I was actually allowed to say that just now. I know Ray and I have talked about it on the podcast at least once without necessarily thinking. So I apologize to Ray.
I heard
but the talk of that is pretty solid talk. Like, it's happening. So, Danielle, good to see you. Vicky, good to see you. Thought that counts. What was that? Yes. See, I can't even think enough to understand what you're saying there, Daniel.
I feel like Bree was actually listening to our conversation. Isn't that exactly what we said? We're just going to Bree come on all the time and just give her gifts?
That might have been what it is, yeah. Like, it's just, hey, like, it's literally, Bree, we only need you for like 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to be like, hey, this is Bree. Here's your gift. See ya. And then it's just really easy for you. And then you can go coach soccer. Shout out Daniel. Daniel, I love that you're always on YouTube. She's always carrying our YouTube water for us. Where's that? We're looking for a Twitch. Who's going to jump in on Twitch? Gotta get that going on. Hey, by the way, Bree, that reminds me. There are some, and there are many more coming pieces of swag on teachbetterswag.com that are going to be featuring the Green Hearts.
Ooh,
full transparency. I may or may not have inquired to our copyright and patent attorney whether we can do something. I'm pretty sure
if Apple had to start paying every time somebody used a green heart.
I'm pretty sure it's probably already taken care of through their system, but like maybe there's a way a type of the green heart that we could get trademarked. It'd be awesome. So we would owe. I'm blanking. The superstar who launched that the last time.
Was it Megan?
Megan, yes, we would owe Megan. We'd owe Megan. Which, by the way, I think I saw Megan yesterday asking on the last night. Liv and Caitlin were live about the ambassador program. Megan jumped on and was asking questions, which tells me that Megan's considering. Which makes me want to say, hey, Megan, just do it. And if anybody else, if you've ever joined us for a brain break more than once, like you should totally be an ambassador. Like you should apply.
If you've lasted longer than 5 minutes on any brain break, you should.
That's especially if you've made it through 5 minutes of a brain break with that I was not on. Like that is a feat.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Actually, we should say, if you made it through a brain break that I was not on, that doesn't actually count because that's much easier. So, Dave, tell me what you've been up to, brother. Other than driver's ed and breaking laws with your kid in the car.
Well, I feel like I kind of want to geek out a little bit. Can I geek out?
I'm
going to talk about Caitlin Giordano is going to be excited because I'm going to pull out some research real quick. But
let's pull up some research.
So, when you were just talking about people that are on Twitch and YouTube and all that, it started to make me think. And I know I've talked to you about this a little bit. I am currently doing a study, and Teach Better is kind of like the case study, if you will. Really cool. So the day job, professor, higher ed, and I am exploring the impact social media has on teacher practice. And it is fascinating right now.
So what are you doing? What kind of research are you doing for that? Or are you going to find research? I'm sure there's a lot of research that's already been done. Well, then are you doing individual, like your own studies that you're creating?
So ironically, ironically, there's actually not a lot of research on it. There's a lot of people that have written about Twitter, for example, and why people participate in Twitter chats. But nobody has actually done. There's really two things I'm studying, so it'll end up being two studies. One is what makes social media productive and successful for transforming teacher practice. So what actually works? Something tells me sitting around having a Sam Adams at 5:00 on Wednesday, probably not going to be one of those things I cite as a transformative practice.
I think you're going to be surprised.
So who knows? So I'm trying to study does online social media stuff replicate best practice for professional learning for adults?
Are you studying? And this is actually this is going to sound like a joke based on what you said, but this is actually a serious. Are you studying both whether it has a positive and a negative impact on instruction?
Sort of. Yeah. So for example, this week on social media, I just threw out real quick to just get a lay of the land, whether or not social media transforms people's practice, or does it confirm? Do people look for like minds and say, I'm going to hold on to what I've done because I found other people that believe in it, or do they look for things that change them? So
I'd be interested. I guarantee it's both, but I'd be interested to see the percentage of, if you can calculate that, like how many people feel that it's actually transformed versus, because a lot of people won't admit that they like to go in and get the confirmation, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah. So that's I'm doing a little bit of that right now. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Is this something you're doing with your university, like part of them, or is it something that you wanted to do? Like, what is this? Or is it? Or I mean, I'm sure you're enjoying it, but like, is it?
So yes and yes. So the way it works at the university is the university doesn't pay me or authorize me to do anything. Everything I do, I've got to do on my own. But at the end of a year, I have to go and say, hey, look at all the cool stuff I did. So I get to pick anything I want to study, anything I want to learn. And I mean, this is like my passion right now. So I figured, why not? Two birds, one stone. Cool. So so I'm loving it right now, just diving into what people are saying. And the fact that nobody's actually analyzed whether it works or not is super fascinating to me.
So is it going to end up being it's going to be like just a published paper through the university, or is it going to turn into more of a, like, do you think it's just like this is a book that's going to come out kind of thing?
It'll probably be a 25 to 30 page articles, multiple articles that'll go to those peer-reviewed journals that nobody but Caitlin Giordano reads.
Will there be either a audio form, a too long didn't read, a Cliff Notes, or a Blinkist form of that book?
I will turn it into 280 characters I can tweet. Yes.
Okay, great.
I will definitely use social media to tell the story.
I will definitely read it, my friend. Well, actually, I don't even know. I might not. I'll ask you for it, and then we'll talk about it on here. That'd be fun, though. The break when you get to the end of that, it would be cool to come on here and like spend some time like talking through that, right, and breaking that down. Actually, it'd be really fun to do that with Caitlin.
Oh my gosh!
Have you break it down with her not having seen it beforehand would be cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's going to be possible because you don't want to share it right away. Right, but if you guys go live and you share the findings live to get her genuine response and reaction, would be neat. So
I think it's just a cool activity for people to engage in too. Like, where do they fit? Because I know for me, I am on both ends of the spectrum on every single day in multiple aspects of my life. But especially with this, I gravitate towards people that speak my language and say the things. but I also want to be part of the conversations that challenge my thinking and refine me. Like Mastery Chat, for example, is a perfect example. I love that because there's so many different perspectives that are at play, and that's why I like it so much. It's not just a bunch of yes and people. So
yeah, and I think for me, from a personal perspective, I think social media does both for me in general, because obviously I love to connect with people like-minded. It helps affirm some of the things I believe or think, but I also love, one of my favorite things to do is actually, when I agree with something I see online or on social media, is to go to try to debunk it, try to prove myself wrong. And I love that, and it allows you because of all those conversations that do go on. So that's pretty cool. So when's that wrap up? Is it through the rest of the spring?
It'll take a while, and some of the stuff I'm figuring out. Some people have seen the things on Netflix, the specials out there about social media and the impact it has, but it's difficult at times. But based on the algorithms within the social media, they want you to stay there, so they tend to surround you with people with similar thoughts. So
that's what I'm saying. Like most people. Yeah. Most people like the similar thought. They like the echo chamber because they like to have their beliefs and their thoughts reaffirmed or confirmed, which is why social media algorithms work that way. Is because their goal is to keep you on their platform as long as they can, because if they keep you on your platform as long as you can, they can sell more ads.
There you go.
So
it's interesting.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
Very cool.
So that's just one of the things I've been up to. Yeah. What about you?
Bree wants to talk to you. She's got some theories.
Okay.
I have some theories as well. My theories probably aren't the same. Yeah. Anyway, what am I up to? I don't know. Stuff. It's been a weird like 2 weeks because I've been interviewing people to be my assistant, which is weird for me.
Right. Because you are King Gargus now.
Well, so the crazy thing is that I've had assistants before, but it was like a long time ago when I like thought I was cool because I had an assistant. Now it's like weird for me. I don't know why, but it is.
Just for clarity, this means I'm not your assistant.
No, I'm sorry. I'm getting second.
Okay.
Co-assistant.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Can I be the chief co-assistant or something?
Didn't mean to push you through that right there, buddy. It was funny because after I talk with someone, interview with someone, if I like them enough, I send them off to Ray. I call it a gut check, but I'm like, I tell him, look, like, because if Ray doesn't like you, it doesn't matter. I'm like, but also Ray knows me well, like she knows what I really need help with and stuff. And Ray's like, how are you gonna because I've got like put it up and got 106 applicants in 4 days, and I narrowed it down to 19. And she's like, 19, really? I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure we have a good pool to think through. And she's like, how are you going to narrow it down from 19? I'm like, I'm kind of hoping you do, because I don't know. But I've only sent a few on to her, so it's going to be interesting. So that's fun. I also had an interview yesterday for someone else to come on in a different role on our team, which was fun. And I really like that person as well. And they met with Chad today, so that's a plus. So that's exciting. A lot of good stuff. I also have a meeting right after this with Ray and someone else who might be joining the team, which is really fun too. So there could be a lot of celebrations going on right now, a lot of good things. So it's been fun.
Well, that makes sense now because I have a meeting with Ray after this, but I have to have an hour buffer between this and that because Ray chose you first. Okay.
Pretty sure she chose this person first.
Okay, fair enough.
Not me. Fair enough. What have you guys made now? What are you and Ray?
Well, I'm starting off. I've got a meeting with Caitlin Giordano, the Caitlin Giordano.
I know her.
Yeah, we're meeting to talk through some stuff that might be happening April, May-ish. And then Ray is going to come in and help refine some of that. So, yeah.
I like that. I know what you're talking about.
There was some talk about that on the podcast. There was some talk about this on a podcast a week or so ago. So if people listen to that, then
we did spill the beans. I love that I'm aware of that. I know about that. I'm pretty sure it was all my idea, honestly. But I'm not in any of these conversations, apparently.
Yeah, because you're King Gargus. You simply put the scepter down and say, make it happen. And we say, as you wish.
That's dangerous. I want to say hi to Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Brianna, good to see you as well. I got to hang out with Brianna last week. We just had
Me
to
too.
hang out.
Can I tell you how amazing she is? Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. And she talked all about your conversation, and another person with some amazing good things happening.
It was literally our conversation. Okay. Like we booked that conversation, and the only agenda topic was for me to tell her that she was awesome, and it was good. So
she is amazing. She pierced my soul because she is such a good person. Like literally to the point where I know it doesn't take much, but like tears welling up in my eyes, like all that. She is just so good, so good. It was powerful.
Brianna was one we were connected to, but we didn't know super well. And then she came to the Teach Better conference. She volunteered. She helped volunteer. She came up. She'll tell you, like, she got there. She didn't know anybody. And we like knew who she was, but we didn't know her that well or whatever and everything. By the end of that week, and I'm literally like, there's no way we're doing the next one unless Brianna's here. Like, there's just no way. Like, she did so much. It was awesome. She just dropped everything to do anything we needed her to. Was one of our just absolute, absolute key component of that conference, going as well as it did. For people that didn't see all the little things that happened in between sessions and stuff, like, a lot of people don't know, like, we didn't have enough chairs. So literally, there were a few people, Brianna being one of them, that had to, like, we had to strategize, and like chairs had to go from this room to that room without anybody noticing, so that there were chairs in different places. It was crazy. So,
such a good problem to have, though, right?
Yeah, it was a very good problem to have. Shout out to Alex Orris if he's watching, if he listens to this, because Alex was sort of like helping organize all that, and his mind just works really well for that. So, anyway, and Brianna, just in case you had any doubt, Liv says that you're amazing. So, like, that's the final check, final everything there. So, but no, it's been a fun week. We have a new course that's in the works, which is exciting. So, I've got a lot of work to do on that to finish my parts of getting the course up and running. What else is going on with the team?
How much time does that take to get a course up and running? Because it's not like,
it depends on who's doing it. Because sometimes it takes 3 days.
So this one might take you a while. So
now I don't know. You tell me, how many videos are there? I haven't looked to see how many videos have to be done.
Oh, hold on a second. Come here real quick. Look what I just got delivered to me by my sweet little girl.
What? Where are my cookies?
Thank you. Right? That's how you raise a daughter, right there. Chocolate chip. She's like this baking aficionado. She'll just say, "I'm making you some stuff tonight, Dad," and she comes. So
while you're doing that, let me look. I got to open up my app here real quick. So those look delicious, but it has been 27 days since I've had a cookie. I cut it out. Here's a fun one though. This one was big for me though. 97 days since I've had fast food.
That's impressive. It's been 16 hours since I had cookies.
Really? 16? Yeah.
She made me some 16? Last night, and I said, those are so good, you need to make more. And she did. So.
I love it. So, all right, so the course. So typically with a course, we're gonna work on a course as a team, like with everything that goes into it, across 30 to 45 days, give or take. Sometimes more. Ideally, we'd have even more. But this one was really quick. But if we need to, we can move really quick. So this one was like decided last week, recorded this weekend, and we'll have it up probably this week. If not, like, I'll possibly have it up. It sounds like Ray did a lot of the stuff that I need to do for the videos, so they're ready to go. But I still have to like design the intro. I have to create the intro portion real quick, slap that on the videos, upload, and actually build the course in our academy. But that can take anywhere from an hour or two to like lots of hours, depending on how big the course is. So you tell me, how big is the course? Like, how many videos in it? If anybody's not picking up on the fact that you're also involved in this course, that's
theoretically, might have sat down for an hour and a half and just hit record and just talked for an hour and a half, and
cut them up. Did you just cut them up?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, you're thinking like 90 minutes,
give or take.
You know how many videos she cut that into?
This is Ray. She's the creative.
Interesting. So I'm guessing that's going to take me probably 3 to 4 hours to put all that together.
Okay.
But then there's other pieces. So there's the pieces with the process and the prices and the price and the automations that deliver like the badges and the certificates and all that type of stuff. And so it's a little bit extra. But yeah, so I think we might be able to pump that out by this weekend. That'd be awesome.
Cool.
I don't know whether we're allowed to talk about this or not, but I don't even care at this point. What's it about?
Am I? Oh, okay.
What's she gonna do? Fire me?
Whatever.
Probably. Yeah. She'll probably fire me.
That's my hand and say, Dave, we're not ever doing that again.
Yeah, she'll fire me and just slap your hand because she wants to keep you around.
That's okay.
Knock me off my supposed throne that you say I have. So she just
No, first of all, I think one of the reasons she was able to turn this around so quickly is because it's completely Ray's wheelhouse. I mean, this is something she's an expert in. It's all about student conferencing and how to provide feedback to students to get them moving forward. But 5 or 6 modules, breaking it down piece by piece so that educators know how to sit down and have those crucial conversations with kids to advance them forward. So it's good stuff.
Danielle asked a very good question. What would be the name of the Giordano Schmitto show? I'm pretty sure you just named it, Danielle.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
We call it like the G or Schmitto show. Is that too hard to say?
The G or Schmitto. Schmittodano.
The Schmittodano show. I like that. The Schmittodano show. That's to be announced, Danielle. You'll have to stick around for that. But there is we definitely, one of the big things that came out of the 12-hour live last time was this, I want to say like realization, but I'd say reconfirmation that like you and Caitlin together.
Caitlin's a genius.
Caitlin's a genius, and you do a good job with her. You guys are a really good combination because of the way your minds work and the way they work, both similar and differently. I think is really cool. So there's some really good conversations. So I'm excited about some of the stuff that's coming with YouTube, but everyone's going to have to wait to learn more about that. So we'll see.
Well, while we're bragging on people, can I brag on Caitlin real quick? I think
we do it most days.
Yeah, right. I think one of the reasons that it works is because of that second thing you said, because we don't agree on everything, but yet it's rare in today's world to have people that disagree and can actually still get along. And like, she is probably one of my favorite people on planet Earth. And like everything she says, even if I disagree, makes perfect sense, which I love. It's like, it's not this emotional disagreement. It's just two people that can actually have conversations. And I think we crave that in society because we don't see that all that often anymore. So I love it. I love her so much just because we can truly agree to disagree and then shake hands. And neither one of us gives up, mind you. Like, I still try to change her mind and show her that she's wrong. And then ultimately she comes back and just makes me feel stupid, but it's so much fun. It's a great combination.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. And I think that's the key to all of this mess and this divisiveness is like, it's okay if you don't disagree. It doesn't have to be emotional, but it's also okay to admit that you're wrong from time to time. So like that, I always get Ray with that one because I'm very quick to do that. Like, I might come in really hard on something and be like, this is what it is. And then, but if you make a good point, I'm gonna be like, oh no, you're right. That's actually what it is. And Ray will come in like locked and loaded, like ready to go to battle. And she'll be like, here's strike one. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, but I had all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, first start was good. I'm with you. Let's do it. But like, for me, I'm like, I'm not going to die on the hill of every hit, like every little, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm like, I know when I'm wrong. Like, I might not have known at the start, but I figured it out pretty quick when you tell me.
That is such a powerful leadership lesson, or even educator lesson. I remember when I first entered administration, and a parent would call and say they wanted to meet with me. I would get so fired up and so nervous at the same time. No matter what the issue was, I knew that what I did was right, and I was going to defend myself. Well, the parent is coming to meet with me, and I lost sight of the fact that their entire drive to come meet with me, they were practicing their speech in their head. They knew every word that they wanted to get out. And when they sat down in my office, if I interrupted their speech, it was on. I just made them lose all control because all they wanted to do was just be heard. And they had their speech. They just needed to get out. And if I would have just listened and said, "Oh, that's a valid point," we could have moved forward so much easier.
I am. Yeah, it really is. The problem is like too many people get just like they feel like if they give up, it's weakness and stuff. And I don't know. I guess for me, I got over that a long time ago because I've invested so much in so many different businesses that then didn't work out or didn't work like I want that I got used to people being like, that was a dumb move. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I'm still going to go do this other thing again. Like, and I'm going to go build that thing. Like, and for me, so it's like, I learned through that because sometimes I wasn't and I held too hard. And then that led to a big failure, a big mistake. And I'm like, well, wait, I always claimed that what I was good at was putting the right people around me. But I didn't actually live up to it for a long time. Now I'm like, I try to remind myself of that because sometimes I forget that. But it's like, I surround myself with some really awesome people. I don't know how I do it and how you guys all stick around, and if I'm an idiot, I'm gonna think that I know what's right all the time and stuff. If I'm really smart, I'm gonna use all these really brilliant people around me and be like, hey, here's what I think, and I'm really passionate about it. And then I'm gonna listen when that really smart person says, I don't agree with that. I think you should do this.
You know, like, one of the really smart people you have around you, really close around you, Amy. I would love to hear her perspective. Like, just thinking through the last decade or so, when you sit down and you say, I've got another idea, right? Does she say not again, or does she refine it, or is she just a big cheerleader? How does that work?
I think she kind of just says, Oh crap! Put the seatbelt back on.
You do live near Cedar Point, so she's used to the roller coaster ride.
Right? I don't know that she's ever said that's a bad idea or hey, I don't think you should.
Do you wish she would have?
No. I honestly think there's been a lot of times where I haven't necessarily even had that conversation. There's been multiple times where I've kind of operated in the like, and this is not the right way to operate, but I have operated in the you knew what you got into kind of a thing. But and I think sometimes she also just was like, well, I'm along for a ride. I knew what I got into at times too. But I remember one time when I got to the point of I had this opportunity where I could continue trying to build my online marketing firm, or I could take this opportunity I have to continue to work and actually become. I had a client of mine that I was white labeled to that was a big piece of everything that I had brought in that then wanted me to now like go full fledged, which would have been giving up my business to do that. More security.
She just brought one more cookie for you. This one's for you, though. This one's for you.
I appreciate that a whole lot. I'm going to need you to eat that for me. Where I could have done a bit more security, all that type of stuff, but I also wasn't 100% sure. I'm like, they're still young too. Like that could all fall too, whatever. And I talked to her and I'm like, so like I'm at this thing, like, do I do that? Or do I go back to school like I've thought about and go that way and figure out and like take a safe route, quote unquote, right? I said, or do I bet on myself again? And she said, I think you already know you're going to bet on yourself again. And I said, yeah, I think you're right. And then, had I not done that, I probably would not have been the person that Chad came to with the ebook. And therefore, we wouldn't be doing this right now. I might have been better off financially. Not actually, no, I wouldn't have. Actually, now I actually know what. Like, you don't usually get to look and see what happens, but like I know that they actually went under. Now, I can claim that if I would have went, they wouldn't, but that's not the truth. Like they went under for some stuff, but like it's just one of those things. So she's never said no. She's always just sort of been like, but she's sort of relaxed and passive in that sense in a lot of ways. Anyway, it's just like there's a level of trust there.
Do you think that at times within the business, you surround yourself with people that do sharpen that will say no or will have those critical conversations with you to help find that balance?
Ray is absolutely one of them. It's one of the things I love most about Ray is that she will say no. Like, Jeff, you're not like, what do you like? No. Right. And Chad too. Chad's really good at that as well. Caitlin, I believe is that as well. Caitlin has come even more so that because I think she realized that I will, that I'll like, I take that differently, that that she doesn't need to battle for it. Like if she makes a good point, I'm going to be like, yeah. So no, I mean, there's, I think I always surround myself that way. I've always said that, like the way I kind of view myself is I'm a run through the wall kind of guy.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna like if I see it, I'm gonna try to just like we'll just go and do it. Let's move quick and get it done or whatever. And I need people who are like, well, wait a minute, what's the wall made of? Like how fast we have to go at what angle? And then I always say my wife's the one that says, and like how bad are you gonna get hurt and how close is the nearest hospital? Because you're probably going to get hurt. And I think Ray has really become a beacon for me to be like, yeah, but like, is that doesn't seem like the wall that you said we wanted to go through. You said we wanted to go through this wall. Like, why are you looking at that wall now? Is it because it's actually the right wall now or because it's shiny or whatever? So, but then there's also times where Ray's supposed to do that. And she's like, yeah, let's go through that wall, and so.
And she likes shiny too. So yeah.
But Chad's always been really good at that too. When Chad and I since day one have been good at we just balancing each other out of both. Reminding ourselves of our missions from time to time, reminding ourselves of business priorities from time to time, and I think that's why I've been able to stay very balanced in that. And then Ray just complements that in just the right way. So
that's cool. It's kind of interesting circling back to the beginning of our conversation today, and even talking about the social media thing. I'm looking at whether or not we're looking for people to conform or to transform. I kind of feel like that's the theme of this whole conversation today is conforming and transforming, changing and staying true, and the whole thing. We also talked earlier about the ambassadors And I've had lots of conversations with people this week asking about the ambassadors, contemplating whether or not they have the right stuff to be an ambassador.
You got the right stuff.
I'm a little happy dance feet. I'm like, yeah. What in your mind? What is the right stuff to be that ambassador? Is it somebody that comes in and they're already a part of the existing ecosystem, if you will, or is it somebody that is going to be learning what Teach Better is all about?
Yes. I think it's both. Yeah. I think the key is, do you have the mindset that you want to? Whether you are already connected and on every live and everything, know us, whatever, like all that type of stuff, and already know a ton about a lot, or you're just now learning a ton about a lot because you happen to stumble into a mastermind and meet Dave, or you happen to talk to Liv and decide that you want to be connected more. Either way, do you have the mindset that you still know that you have a lot to learn and grow and you want to do that, and then you see it as an opportunity to do that with a bunch of people? Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest piece. In fact, when what were we talking about? What we were doing? I don't know what it was. Whether we were live or not, we were talking. We were like giving tips on like how to get around certain parts of the application. Because I think we were talking to someone and they're like, "Oh, and then that." Ray and I are like, "Hey, just put this down." Like, and then like they're like, "Oh, it was proof about something," and I'm like, "Dude, take a picture of a piece of paper that says Jeff says this is proof and submit that as proof." I'm like, because they just had the right mindset, but they'd only been connected with us for a couple weeks, so they just haven't done as much stuff. So I'm like, it's about that. I think it's, do you have the mindset? Do you want to come in and meet this new family of yours, and are you going to be there to love and support them? It's not about how active are you going to be, how much you're going to do. Yes, there's a point system, but like it's not required. It's just for extra stuff. Like, are you going to come in and carry the Teach Better mindset and Teach Better flag, so to speak, right? Probably. And by that, I mean, you're going to carry it in a way that helps other people grow and learn, and hopefully then impact other people and impact kids. So,
yeah, I think that's spot on from my perspective as well. And I'm glad it kind of answered Vicky's question, but just to take people on the journey that went through my head, I think it was last May or June. I got a DM from Megan, the Megan Deegan, who just said, "Hey, they've got a question, a request. Is it okay?" And I answered yes before I even knew what she was going to ask. I was like, yes, I'm in. Whatever you need, Megan, I'm in.
That's how I reply to Megan too.
Right. Like, but I think that's the mindset. We're not just looking for yes people, but it's people that want to connect with other people. And that was the thing. It was, I would run through a wall, shiny or dull, for Megan, because I think she is that good of people. She's just amazing. Mm-hmm. But as a result of saying yes to that, so many new connections were afforded to me. If I hadn't said yes to that, I might not have ever met Liv or Carly or Andrea or Debbie, or, I mean, I could just go down the list. I mean, there's so many amazing people that I got to meet over the last year that grew me in ways that a year ago I never would have imagined I needed to grow, but I got to just connect with them and rub shoulders with them, even virtually. And it's so inspiring. So if you're even debating it, do it.
Here's the best part about that is, like, now we're turning it up. Like, we're going to bring even more value that's outside of that to the ambassador as well. Like, Megan and Andrea have a lot of stuff that they want to do. They want to build and grow and create for our ambassadors, like exclusive training, exclusive swag, exclusive deals that go beyond our stuff, that extend beyond that, partnerships, all this type of stuff. Other opportunities to learn and grow as a leader, other opportunities to be connected and, get your name out there and stuff like that. So there's a lot coming. So I'm excited about it. I do want to say, Mark's in here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark. Good to see you, brother. Megan, good to see you. I believe, weren't we just talking about Megan earlier?
Green heart queen.
Yes. Megan, I need to know via commitment. I'm calling you out right now. Did you submit your application? I'm calling her out. It's
are you talking there. The trademark application, or are you talking the ambassador application? Because those are both conversations we had about that.
The ambassador application. Okay. If Megan, if you need to know what we're talking about the trademark, I'll fill you in later on what that is. So, and if you need any other stamp of approval, there it is right there. Mm-hmm. She definitely one of the best decisions she ever made, she says. It's from Lindsay. So, which, by the way, like, you also get you get a little extra Lindsay. So, like, I mean, come on, like, do you really need this? So,
if you heard my speech and you're like, well, that's the reason I don't want, there you go. There's more incentive. So, yeah.
Boom. Awesome. Love it. Awesome, Megan. Yeah, I'm interested to see. I've really enjoyed. It's been a couple days since I've done it, but popping in to the forum and watching the videos and stuff, like it's cool.
Yeah.
And we've got some that have come in from all over the world now, which is really cool. It's just a really neat thing. So,
Teach Better impacts the world. What?
That's the goal, I think. So I'm excited about that. So what else is going on?
Well, if people still have more questions, I think next week our Brain Break is actually going to have some ambassadors joining us. Am I right? Is that next week?
Is it next week? I don't know. Let me see. Let me bring my trusty.
It's not tonight.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, because they so applications close next Saturday, the 27th. So who do we have with us? Oh, wow.
Right. The powerhouse lineup.
Yeah, we do. Wow, that's a heck of a lineup. I don't even know if I need to be here.
I don't think you do.
I'm going to be here. I think it's going to be pretty cool without me. So yeah, so next week's Brain Break will be a great one. Like, it's going to be all about this. So like, any questions will be easily answered there. So I'm excited about that. I'm trying to think what else is going on. So we got the course coming out really soon, which is awesome. We've got the ambassador stuff going on. We talked about 12-hour live. That's something that's in the work. Oh, have we even? Can I break another one? I don't know whether this has been announced either. Like, I should know this.
The Chad thing or not the Chad
thing? Yeah,
it's been announced. Yes, go for it.
Good. So starting next week on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Is that the right thing? Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, or is it Wednesdays?
I think it's Tuesdays.
Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Well, I don't know anything, do I? Wow. I sure hope Ray's not watching this. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Yeah, so Tuesdays at 8 o'clock for the next, I don't know, for a while now, the next several weeks, Chad Ostrowski is going to be going live with a different educator every week, but building a grid with them, literally live, which is going to be super fun. One of my favorite things in the world to do is to watch Chad walk someone through it, because if you give him enough time, he can do it with anything. Like, so hold on. Any curriculum, anything.
He's building grids, not just with like ELA and math, but we're talking like special areas.
I think we got a lot of I don't know what all
secondary.
Yeah, we got elementary, we got middle, we got secondary. I think there might be a music teacher in there somewhere, maybe Jim. I'm not sure if Jim got in there or not, but like showing the different ways and stuff. It's one of my favorite things. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do. When I have a vivid memory. One of my favorite things ever was very early on. Was the first time Ray ever came to a training. I think it's where I showed Ray that I at least wasn't a complete idiot. Is I sat at a table with all gym teachers and I broke down how they could grid all their stuff. And like, it was, what was nice is that was curriculum that I could understand. Like, so, and the first one was like on basketball, like how to grid basketball, like how to grid the initial steps and stuff like that, and how to build it. And that was all from just watching Chad do it for years and years and years. So it's so cool to watch him do that.
How much does this amazing course cost?
This course is going to be free.
What?
So it's going to be live streamed just like this.
What?
On our social. It's going to be I think we're doing like 6 weeks. 6 weeks, I think. So it's really good. And here's the thing that I think I need everyone to know is that, like, watching the process is actually really valuable. Like, even if it's a high school, a 10th grade history, that is still valuable if you are a second grade English teacher or art teacher or science teacher or whatever, or I guess second grade you're teaching everything, right? But whatever, right? Because it's the process that you have to figure out. You know your standards, you know your content. Now you got to figure out your process for how the process works. And I think what you're really going to see is how flexible that framework really is. Because what I almost have never heard is no in it. Like, hey, can I do this in there? Like, yeah. Does it align? Does it make sense for what you're doing? Does it further the knowledge of your student in that standard that you're going for? Well, yes, like we can make that work. And that's really cool. So I hope there's a project in there somewhere too, because I love when Chad breaks down like a PBL unit, like around that. And that's just the best. So, but another one, this comment right here in our private group is Mark Heller. He's on one of them. He's actually the only one. So Ray and I talked about this on the podcast and we only revealed one of the guests. And it was that one of the I think it's the last week is Mark's coming on. It's going to be from an admin perspective, which is really cool. And Mark is an absolute rock star at that, and absolutely probably the best we can have there, because Mark has the work his staff is doing is just incredible around the grid method and stuff too. So that's super cool. So it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun one. Awesome. So no registration, nothing. Just show up live. Then they'll all be saved. So all the videos are gonna be saved. on our Facebook page because they get saved there, in the group, on YouTube, on Twitch, and
if people are able to watch this, they can watch that, right?
Yes, and we're going to take them all. But just to make it even easier, we're going to take them all and throw them into an online course too, all the replays, so that if you have the Academy membership already, that's just going to be there, and you'll be able to watch. That way, you can go to one place, get that for free, and go through the whole thing. So we want to make sure it was just really, really easy. So that's going on.
You
do
surround yourself with some pretty amazing people.
I do.
That's impressive.
Here's the best part: is I'm not 100% sure if all that's true, but that's what we're going to do now because I just said it live. No, that's actually what's happening. It's already set up. It's one of the things I'm working on this week too, is building the course for that to be housed in and stuff. So that's really awesome coming. So there's a lot of good stuff going on, man.
What I love about tonight is I feel like people are getting the chance to the curtain of Oz. You were like the wizard. The curtain has just been removed, and now people get to see all the stuff that you really do behind that curtain. And there's so much. I mean, you're pulling levers left and right. And
what have I actually done? I don't think I'm doing anything, am I?
You're telling people go do things, and they're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're building a lot, and you've got like this vision for all the things that people need, and you're just giving. There, people are like, I need this. You're like, let's build it. Let's do it. I need this. Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's
awesome.
I mean, that's what you should do. This Friday, Friday is our popcorn hangout. So you need to be in the private group to get the link, which that's also, I mean, it's free to get in a private group. So just get in the private group. It's really easy. On Friday, we're going to post a link in there. We're just doing a hangout. And I actually don't know much about this one. This has been Becky and I think it's Becky Thal and Megan really running this. I apologize if I had that wrong. And there's other people. And I know Ray's been super involved too. And then the social team and stuff. But like, they got games going on. They got all kinds of fun stuff going on. I know I'm talking at the end of it. I'm supposed to say something semi-intelligent. So I'm going to work on that really hard.
Call Chad to write your speech.
I get to hang out with Lindsay Titus for a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to be like, hey, what should I say? Like, can you script it out? Like, I really appreciate that. So that's going to be fun. So that's really cool. That's free. It's another networking event. It's just all about like, hey, let's connect, let's grow, let's build more relationships, and let's have some fun with some games and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
So you get in a private group to get that link to get into a Zoom. So what else we got? What else going on?
I'm wondering, I know you don't sleep much. Is this why? Do you like put your head in your pillow and like, oh, I can't go to sleep now. I've got another idea. And then you start and then another idea. Is that how it works? Are you just constantly pinging with ideas?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why I do struggle with sleep. I've been better recently, honestly, of trying to get into my bed earlier so that I can get to bed earlier. But I do that. I'm laughing at you doing that because I do that all the time. It's probably 4 or 5 out of 7 nights. As I'm laying down, I pop up and I send myself an email. Like, 'cause that's how I do that. I'll like pop myself an email that, like, the title is whatever, and then I do that. Every now and then, it's like there's an old Seinfeld episode where he can't figure out what the joke is that he had at night, but he remembers the one word and he can't figure out what it. I can't remember what the word was. I've done that multiple times. I actually had one on that I got on. I set it and sent it to myself. Like, I scheduled it so it would send like Monday afternoon. I got it and I'm like, I just put the subject line. I didn't put anything about it. I'm like, I have no idea what I was thinking about. Like, what was I thinking? And I still haven't figured out what it was. But yeah, I do a lot of that, just like email myself ideas and stuff. Because if I popped it off to like you or Chad or to like Ray or something like that, then that's going to start a conversation.
Yeah,
and then
you don't want a conversation. Yeah,
then I'm going to get up, go downstairs, and go to work. But then I send to myself an email and I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. So I can throw that into a task later on for me to think through and to brainstorm and see if it makes sense. And then usually from there, I'll take it to Ray, be like, hey, here I have this thought. Here's all my thoughts kind of thrown up on a task or a doc or whatever. Like, talk me out of this or what? That was the best. That was the 12-hour live. I was like, talk me out of this, and she didn't. Then, well, here's my okay. I'm gonna spill more beans here. Like, the next coming 12-hour was her. Like, I had to convince her to do one in December, and then she's like, I think we want to do more of these. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. All right, let's do it. So like, I got to plant seeds, and then I got to play the game a little bit.
I love it. I love it. I feel like people that have wondered why they stick around for Brain Breaks, this is why. If you're sticking around and watching us literally drink and talk, you're getting the inside scoop on everything. All the things right here. So
can you just for a minute just imagine like trying to be my assistant though? Like it's not gonna. I don't like.
So I guess we need to set some ground rules. You know those emails you're sending yourself. You keep sending them to yourself. Don't send them to whoever it is you hire. That's not fair.
Well, yeah. Well, I've actually told like the ones that I've talked to. I'm like, look, I'm like because a couple of them have been really sharp. They've had questions like, what's the hardest part of the job? I'm like, it's going to be dealing with me, like because I'm just one. We don't have this position, so we're going to be making up as we go along. So I'm going to literally be like, oh yeah, remember all those things I listed on the job like listing? You're not doing any of those now. Here's 5 like, it's just how it is. So. Anyway, I don't know. Danielle, so this is how you win at the 12-Hour Live. Is that just being here?
Brain break just so she can get the answers for the 12-Hour Live. Well played.
That's good. That's good. I thought she mentioned she's just always around waiting to win. She's always ready to roll. So, look at this. She's got in a workshop yesterday. I had all the answers thanks to what I've learned from. Ooh, what do you mean by all the answers? Like,
what was the topic?
Yeah, like all the answers to what? Were you guys playing like Dave Schmitto trivia? Because that's weird.
She was playing Cranium, right?
I was going to say they were playing Cranium, so she had all the answers. I'd be interested to know what that was on, Daniel. That's awesome, though. I don't know. My mind's all over the place all the time. And that's why I have to surround myself with people that like take a minute to pause.
So 50 minutes ago, I said, what are you doing up to? You're like, nothing. 50 minutes later, you're like, blah, 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 blah.
It's, I always, when I do that, I always like, when people ask me anything about business, I'm like, well, just so you know, I don't do short well. So here's 6 hours of your life that you're not getting back. Like, let me spew this on you. But
it's fascinating to me, and I think it's fascinating to a lot of other people as well. It's hearing the inner workings. It's the same reason reality TV is so popular, because people want to see what happens behind the set, in real life. And
I think that'd be. I think what we should do for the next 12-hour lives, I should set up a separate camera that films me outside. Why is Ray's literally calling me right now? As if she doesn't know that I'm on live.
I think somebody just told her what in the world we were talking.
Should I call her? I just muted, but should I? I'm talking to her. Hold on. Hello. I'm live right now. Everyone's watching me on the phone.
Hi, Ray.
No, let's talk. What do you got going on? What's going on? What's up?
I'm fired.
So Dave's fired. Absolutely understand. Dave's fired. You don't want to have anything to do with him. Yeah, he's Ray. He smells bad. That's a little harsh, don't you think? I mean,
he is the honest.
I mean, I know he's. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. She's like, hang up, go, and I'm like, no. She's like, okay, I'm going. Bye. Love you, Ray. So what were we even talking about right now? Oh no, so setting up another camera here that records like from this angle, right, of everything going on. And then you also have like Ray do that as well. And everyone. I mean, like we could smash up like what does it look like behind the scenes of the Teach Better stuff? That could be fun.
Yeah.
Crap, I gotta email myself.
There would be a lot of dog petting, I'm imagining.
Well, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, I see that. So, Megan, why do you always miss Brain Break? Are you working? Because you gotta get your priorities right.
People do that.
I don't know. I still, Dave, I said this multiple times on Brain Break, and I think I did it on live too. Like, it's really crazy when I think that like this is legit part of my job.
Right. You hit the jackpot. That is for
sure. This is legit part of my job. And, I also, like, on Mondays, I record podcasts with Ray Hewitt and Amazing Educators. I'm like, that's part of my job. It's like in my job description. That's part of it. So
that's amazing.
Megan, yeah. Okay, so we need to change it. We need to change everything. I didn't realize that Megan couldn't make Brain Breaks because of work. We're going to have to shift when we do Brain Breaks. It's unacceptable. Okay. Although... I'm looking at that. That means, at 4:31 CST, you should be able to start listening right there, right? Just your phone works, right?
And maybe that's what happened today. I think that's what happened.
She's here today. That's awesome. She's probably snowed out. They might. I don't know if they had a snow day today.
So, Megan, here's what's going to happen. We'll fill the first half hour with randomness. We'll start that next week because normally that's when we're super serious and that's when we drop all kinds of truth and wisdom. We'll just fill that with randomness for that first half hour, and then we'll save the good stuff for you.
You guys hear this guy? Since we have good stuff at the beginning, like we don't do randomness the whole time. There's no one over there, by the way. We are out for snowish stuff today. even know what that means. But I'm with it. We had snowish stuff today. Kids actually had school today. They had last two. Well, they had President's Day and then they had snow yesterday, but back in it today. So I had to use my yak tracks the last 3 days running in the slush and snow.
I saw that. Do you like those?
Oh, they're awesome, dude. Like you. So yesterday was slushy and just tough, but a lot of the road was still was clearing up, so it was kind of weird. On Monday though, it was ice. I ran on ice. Like it was ice and some snow. And when I put those things on, like I have zero fear. Like there's no like it's like that's what I describe it. It takes your shoe, it makes it a winter tire, if that makes sense. Like I just think about how my dad used,
right?
What's that?
Is it actual?
It's not spikes. It's like it's like a rubber thing that expands and goes around your heel and there and the toe. And then on the bottom, it's rubber back and forth, but it's wound with like some sort of metal coil type thing.
Okay.
That acts as so you can actually run on ground with it. It's a little weird, but they're made for snow and sleet and everything like that, but also like running like in parks and stuff like that not necessarily trail running, but like field running.
Okay.
I got them because this was 2 years ago. I was scheduled. I actually ended up getting hurt and missing this race. I was scheduled to go run a race that was 100% on grass. And it was potentially going to snow, and I got them. They're like $20 or something. They're super cheap, but I love them. Like they work really well in the snow. So, being in Michigan, you should probably get them.
I probably should. I saw your post about that, and I was like, oh, I need to ask them.
Yeah, they work really really good. So I like them a lot. So and again, like yesterday was I was back and forth between running them on the road because it was clear and back and forth. But it was so slushy yesterday that at any moment, like when you cross over, like that slush can just wipe you out. So it was really nice. So today I was able to run without it. So
that's awesome.
It was good. Yeah. Anyway.
You're doing good stuff there, Mr. Gargis.
Good stuff, man. We got good stuff going on. We're already at an hour. This is awesome. I feel like we didn't give anything away. So Dave and I are going to get structured. We're going to get structured. We're going to have some good giveaways next week. We'll do them with the ambassadors. We'll do some cool giveaways next week and stuff. Promise. Cross my heart. Hold me to it. Don't let me forget.
Got it.
Someone remember me. Remember that. Remind me. Remember me. Please remember me.
Please remember.
Remind me as well, though. But yes, really appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, and outside that, make sure you get in the private group and join us on Friday. That's gonna be awesome. Who's on tap tomorrow? Do you know who's on tomorrow?
Joseph.
Matthew Joseph. That's gonna be a good chat.
I know he's talking student voice and agency. Yeah.
That dude's been in our world for a long time now.
Yeah.
He's been He was one of our very early on guest authors on Teach Better. He's still writing with us and doing some really awesome work. So awesome. Shout out. Fun. So join us tomorrow night for Master Chat. Is it Ray going live with the Master, I believe?
That I don't know.
I'll check. Let me check. Everybody can wait while I check. I really need to just leave my calendar up because I've checked it like 6 times today. Oh no, it's Megan. Oh wow, that's a duo.
M&M. Love it.
Matthew Joseph and Megan Deegan?
That's powerhouse.
That's good stuff. Awesome. So that's exciting. And we'll see you on Friday for the popcorn hangouts. And as always, I mean, if you don't know this already, but please, if we can help you in any way or you need support, please reach out to the team. Let us know. Get your ambassador apps in. You got another 10 days-ish to get those in. Next week, we've got a bunch of ambassadors with us. Making this a whole lot prettier of a view for you and talking all kinds of stuff around that. So, Dave, appreciate you, brother.
It's been fun, man.
Enjoy those cookies.
Oh, I did.
All right. We love you all. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.